The Sons of Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, keep calm and tighten the hell up. We are the Sons of Bud. Brandon Davis, Clay Watson, Christopher Judkins. 3 lifelong Titan fans on a quest to see the boys bring a Super Bowl to Music City. Now keep calm and tighten the hell up. It's the Sons of Bud Podcast.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 5th installment of the Sons of Bud Podcast. We have a legendary Titans-Oilers franchise lifer, Titan Dave. How you doing out there? Welcome to the show. We're so glad to have you during Titans-Texans week to talk about the franchise.
Hey, guys, thanks so much. I'm excited about this. Thanks so much for having me. Happy New Year to you guys. Happy New Year to Titan Nation. Looking forward to this interview with you guys and talking some history, talking some Oilers history, talking about the Titans and the big game coming up this weekend.
We've been looking forward to it all week. Clay, we're going to let you start the interview off. What you got for Titan Dave?
David, thank you so much for coming in here and talking to me and Chris.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to ask you, from the ownership shift from Bud Adams to Amy Adams-Strunk, how do you feel about the direction of the team, of the franchise right now that Amy is taking the team right now? You think about she was a huge advocate for getting the NFL draft to be brought to be hosted in Nashville. She's making stadium renovations to Nissan Stadium to possibly host a Super Bowl game. What are your thoughts and feelings about that, or how the direction of the team's going?
I think we're heading in the right direction with this franchise for sure. And I think people were probably skeptical a little bit after Bun had left us and she took over. But I think she's done a fantastic job. She's really taken Nashville under her wings and made it her project, to say, hey, you know what? I love Nashville. I love this team, and I'm going to do whatever I can in my power to bring a championship to Nashville. And I think she's heading in the right direction with all that.
Absolutely. And I think that she has been a big part of bringing some big name players to our team. Going into this game against the Texans, how confident are you with this team right now and to making a strong push for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think like any other Titans fan, I'd be remiss if I didn't think that there would probably be a little bit of maybe we're worried just a little bit just on the defensive side of things right now. We haven't played our best football offensively. I think this is a Super Bowl team from an offensive standpoint. But when we play quarterbacks that are mobile and can throw the football like we're getting ready to do against Deshaun Watson, we've got to bring it, man. We've got to put pressure on the quarterback. Whatever that is, I know we certainly need to push up front. I like to see the guys blitz more, to be honest. I mean, what do we have to lose? But I think our offense is going to keep us in a lot of football games. It just depends on how well our defense plays. It's going to really come down to defense in the playoffs, because we got not only Deshaun, we got to beat him first before we get in the playoffs. I know there's some things that can happen. We can lose this game, which I don't want to do. I want to host, a playoff game. But if for some reason we don't win this game, we still have a chance to get in. But we're going to face teams, and we're going to face quarterbacks like Mahomes and Roethlisberger and Josh Allen. All those guys can hurt us if we don't get after the quarterback.
One more thing, Chris, and I'll pass it back over to you. If we do win this game against the Texans this week and the Dolphins win, then it's very, very possible that we host a game against the Miami Dolphins, against the former team of Ryan Tannehill. So yeah. I think that would be a very, very interesting game to watch. Chris, I know you got a lot of questions that you want to ask Dave. I'm going to pass on over to you.
Absolutely. This is a huge week for all of us. It's a culmination of the season. We've got this legendary fan who's been following the team since '76. I just want to dig into your story and what drew you to the team? I know you're from Michigan originally. You're born there.
Yes.
I'm
Yep.
curious, like how you didn't become a Lions fan, how you got into the Oilers. Tell us your story about football. Growing up, who influenced you to love football, stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I grew, like I said, I was a displaced fan and from Michigan. I guess, hindsight being 2020, it's a good thing I didn't become a Detroit Lions fan. They've struggled for so many years. But my dad was an athlete, and he got me hooked into sports, and I love sports from a young age. Collected football cards. Started collecting football cards in 1974. I didn't really have a one team that I just followed. I just loved football. And it wasn't until 1976, I watched this little guy, number 84, for this team with the greatest colors I could imagine. The Columbia blue, red, and white, the Houston Oilers, Billy White Shoes Johnson doing his thing when he scored a touchdown, doing his end zone dance. And I just captured it. The team colors and Billy Johnson really attracted me to that team. And that's how I became a Houston Oilers fan. So from then, I think in 1976, they were 5-9. They struggled. And then in 77, they were, 8-6. And then 1977, we drafted a guy by the name of Earl Campbell, the Tyler Rose. And 1978 is when Houston and Houston Oilers really exploded. That's when Love You Blue started. Went to two AFC championships in 78 and 79. Unfortunately, Pittsburgh Steelers, we had to go through them. That was a dynasty at that time, and we came up short 2 years in a row. So that's unfortunate, but it was just to try to explain to everybody about the Houston Oilers that aren't familiar with that time and that era. It started with the head coach, Bum Phillips. And Bum Phillips, he wore his cowboy hat on the sideline and cowboy boots. And he had a different philosophy than a lot of different coaches. He treated his players like family. He was close to them. And he figured, if I treat these guys like family, they're going to play harder for me. And they did. I mean, there wasn't a lot of superstars on those teams. Earl Campbell, Robert Brazil. Other than that, if you didn't follow the Oilers, you probably couldn't name too many other players on that team other than those two gentlemen, Dan Pastorini. But Bum Phillips made that team, and it was a great time for the city and a football team to come together. I mean, even though they lost those games in 78 and 79, when they came home to the Astrodome during those losses late at night, there were 55,000 people in the stadium showing their support for that team, saying, hey, you know what, you lost, but we love you. We appreciate the effort. 2 years in a row, 55,000 people awaited them when they came home from their plane and their bus ride home. So I thought, man, what a great city, what a great marriage it was between city and a football team. And like I said, the orchestrator of that was Bum Phillips. So that's how it started, gentlemen. That's how it started for me back in 1976.
Fascinating that the relationship was so healthy and that the divorce was so nasty.
Yeah.
As a child, I think I'm 11 or 12 years old. I'm a diehard football fan, and I'm watching the Houston Oilers Save the Oilers rally on TV. I see 10 people out there,
right,
waving a white t-shirt around. It was the gnarliest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Talk about the divorce a little bit.
Yeah, and again, I'm from Michigan, and when all that was going on, so I mean, I'm sure a Houstonian could probably explain a lot better than I could. But from what I understand is, there's a lot of things that have. Bud was involved with some other businesses besides being an owner of a football team. But I think he rubbed people the wrong way, and I think the separation there was he tried to move before Nashville. There were talks of moving the Houston Oilers to Jacksonville, probably 2 or 3 years prior to the team trying to get to, a team in Nashville. And that rubbed people the wrong way, And then from 1987 to 1993, the Oilers were in the playoffs 7 years in a row. That hasn't been accomplished since then, where we've had 7 straight trips to the playoffs. or seven seasons where we had winning record. Other than we're on a pretty good streak right now, where we have five straight years of a winning record, 4, 9, and 7, and 10 and 5, hopefully 11 and 5. But I just think with that and tearing that group of players up in 92, 93, after they had so many good years, and after the 92 season, that was the greatest comeback, right? 35-3 halftime in a divisional playoff against the Bills, and they lost that game. And Bud, to start the season, he threatened the players, said, look, if you guys don't get it done this year, I'm tearing this team apart. Now, why would you go and say that to a team before the season started? It just puts extra pressure on them. And of course, they got beat by Joe Montana and the Kansas City had the home field advantage there for the divisional playoff game and lost that game, had a 10-point lead and lost. And then he tore that team apart. He wanted a new stadium. He didn't feel the Astrodome met up to the standards of today's NFL game. And City of Houston said, you know what, screw you, bud. We don't want anything to do with it. We don't want to have to pay for that. And that's when, Houston, Bud Adams and the team went their separate ways. I think if they had it all over to do it all over again, the City of Houston may have maybe done some things different there to try to keep the team. They don't miss Bud Adams. They miss Houston Oilers. They miss the colors and the history,
so thankful for Bud Adams.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so ironic that spoiled milk turned into, brie cheese over in Nashville or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It's turned out to be a magical ride for me and my family, and it's sad that the original Oiler fans had to go through that transition.
Yeah, you got to feel for them.
But I'm happy that they got their Texans, as much as I can't stand that team.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're just a natural rival.
Right.
But, I think I got to throw my hat off to J.J. Watt with what he did in that press conference and calling out his teammates. We got a little battle that's going to be ensuing on Sunday. This is bad blood history.
Yeah.
Why this is such a big game. And that's why we're having this interview right now with you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, J.J. Watt, man, he's a great player, great ambassador for the city of Houston and the Houston Texans. This is going to be a different game. This isn't one where they're going to sit their guys and wait for next year. They're coming out to do battle, and they want to ruin it for us. There's no doubt about that. And it's going to be a football game. If people think we're going to come in there like we did last year and they're not playing many of their starters and we're going to walk all over them, it's a different year. They want revenge. This is a revenge game for the Texans. They easily could have beat us at home earlier in the year. They had that game won. I thought they made some crazy calls there at the end with a 2-point conversion that could have easily beaten us. But hey, they took the chance and they paid for it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. It's going to be a good football game.
Clay, what do you think about the Romeo Crennel Mike Vrabel dynamic too in this game? That's always fascinating. Their relationship and all that. What do you got over there?
Well, I can't agree with y'all anymore. Any AFC South game is going to be a brawl, and that post game press conference that J.J. Watt had, he clearly was disappointed in the effort that he was seeing from his teammates. He is a vocal leader, and that's going to fire a lot of people up. Deshaun Watson being hurt at the near the end of the game against Cincinnati, and he's going to be playing. It's going to be a tough fought game, I believe. And Derrick Henry's going to I think going to be ready to try to run all over him, but who knows what's going to happen. We just never know. So we're just going to have to tighten up and just take care of business and hopefully win our first division title since 2008. And I can't sweat that enough. I like to be the optimistic type, but there are some games that this past season that I have been nervous going into, and usually those games have ended up going the other way, which is very unfortunate. But I do have a lot of confidence in our guys that we're gonna step up. Dory Jackson's going to be on his third game, and after coming out of Lambeau and some plays not going in our way, and the referees, this, that, and the other, I think that our boys are going to be hungry to make up from those mistakes and those blunders, and I think we're going to take care of business. But you know, like Dave said, they're not going to just roll over and let us have it. We're going to have to fight, and we're going to have to earn it.
Yeah, I think this game is scary in a lot of ways. I think the quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson and Ryan Tannehill, they both remind me of a guy, Steve McNair. And I wanted to know, Dave, did you have a relationship with Steve? I saw you showed me a picture. It looked like you and him maybe at his first training camp.
That yeah, I met Steve when I moved to Florida. So I'm from Michigan, but I moved to Florida back in '97. And I had met Steve they used to have a quarterback challenge at the Wide World of Sports every year. And his rookie season, he was in it. And I got to meet him. I stood in line and I had him. I got this jersey. I'll show this guys to you. It's a Houston Oilers jersey. And I had him sign this jersey here.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I can't get any closer, but this is my Steve McNair jersey that I got from him during the quarterback challenge's rookie year. But yeah, so I got to meet him. I got a picture taken with him. But you know, before that, I mean, I'd never met him. What a super nice guy. You know, tragically ended way too early his life. But the rock and soul of the Tennessee Titans organization, man. Just a gritty performer. Just love that guy. What a competitor. What a competitor.
He's the rock and soul of my football life. He's my most, favorite, cherished player of all time as well. A lot of lessons learned from Steve. I'm curious, what lessons have you learned? I know you're a PGA teacher. Is that right?
Yeah. I moved down to Florida to teach full time. So I've been a PGA member of the PGA for 23 years. I've always loved sports. I knew somehow in life I was going to be involved with sports. So I grew up playing a lot of sports, like I said before. I wanted to be a tour player at one point, but there's a thing called N-E-T that got in the way, and that's called not enough talent. So what I did is I decided I was going to teach golf. So that's when I moved to Florida and started teaching. I worked for Nick Faldo for 3 years down there and worked at a bunch of different golf academies. But just really, really enjoy teaching the game and coaching. And I even coached high school football 2 years ago. I was an assistant receivers coach in Orlando. And that was what a joy that was, man. I just had a lot of fun. I only did it for a year. It just took up a lot of my time. So I coached JV and varsity. But there's nothing like football, man. I'm so passionate about it, and I love helping people out. And that's why I coach, and that's why I coach golf, and that's why I wanted to coach football, just to get on the sideline on a Friday night and team, those pregame meals and just that interaction with the other coaches and the team. What a great experience that was for me.
Yeah, you seem like a go-getter, someone that's just, that you can train your mind to do these different things. It seems like you've got a lot of discipline, and I kind of admire that in you. And I think
appreciate it. Yeah, you got to go after. I mean, life is short, man. You got to go after things you want to do. I mean, if you have dreams, go out. I've lived my life. I don't, when I first started out teaching, I didn't make a lot of money. I moved, I left my family. I went down there by myself and just followed my. So I found a way to supplement that. So I sent you there, Chris, a little video of myself doing some work on the side to make some more money. And I contacted an agent. So I've done about 250 commercials over the last 22 years. And
people might recognize you on this podcast.
Yeah.
Why? Because, you do a lot of commercials. I think I've seen you, and I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I've done most of the stuff I do is marketing material for a lot of businesses that are kind of local businesses down in Florida, but I've done some national stuff. I've been on the Golf Channel a lot because of my golf background. So I did a lot of stuff for Garmin. I did a couple of their GPS watches. So that was kind of a national commercial. Matter of fact, I just had someone on Twitter who DM'd me and said, "Hey, did I just see you on a Vane commercial?" So they're still showing. He's from Chicago. So some of my stuff is still out there, but I never wanted to do that. It was just a way to supplement my income, and it just turned out, it turned out for me, and it was able to do that. And it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I had some good times doing that stuff. But now I moved back here. I work for a national company, teaching company called Golf Tech. And it's a perfect job for me. I never thought I'd be moving back to Michigan, but this is where my family is, this is where my roots are. And my girlfriend, who I met in Florida, she is also from Michigan. So we decided to come back. A crazy year, though. Crazy year to move. And, with COVID-19 and everything, it's been nuts, and lost some close people in my life. But here we are, 2021. We pray that 21 or 2020 is behind us, and we look forward to a more prosperous and happy 2021. That's for sure.
Getting that AFC South crown would be nice. Way to start.
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome?
That's what we're looking for.
Man,
you a big Michigan fan?
Yeah, kind of embarrassed to admit it, but hey, our basketball team's undefeated right now. But yeah, I grew up between Ann Arbor and Lansing. So I kind of gravitated over there to the west a little bit more to Ann Arbor. So I grew up a Michigan fan. All these Ohio State people are making fun of me right now, but you know what? It's just, that rivalry is dead now. I'm just really disappointed what happened to Michigan football over the years. But you know what? Blue and gold, man. That's amazing blue. I'm running through my veins just like two-tone blue is, and I'll be a fan of theirs until the day I die. But hoping for some better days for Michigan football, that's for sure.
Clay's a diehard Volunteer fan. I'm a diehard Alabama fan. It's just
there you go.
They're
taking care of business, Alabama, right now.
Yes, sir. Wrap this podcast up, go watch a little bit more football. But
there you go.
So much fun to talk to you about the Oilers. The Titans. I want to know, what's your favorite offense in the franchise's history? Is it the one in '93? Is it the one this year? What was your favorite offense to watch? The run and shoot?
Well, if we're talking Oilers and Titans.
Yep, combined.
I would. Boy, it's tough. I say for the Titans, for the Tennessee Titans, this offense to me is our most explosive offense, because it's not just run, it's not just pass, it's both. We got the best running back in the league, and then Corey Davis, AJ Brown, they're coming into their own. I'm a big fan. I mean, Corey Davis, I love Corey Davis. He's a Western Michigan guy, and I've always had a soft spot in my heart for him, and I knew he'd come around. I wish it would have happened last year and they would have re-signed him, and I'm hoping that the Titans will do something to bring him back. But I'd say this year, and then the run and shoot days were awesome. I mean, Warren Moon and Givens and Hayward Jeffries, Curtis Duncan, all those boys, they lit it up, man. They lit it up. Unfortunately, they just couldn't get it done on the big stage in the conference championship game, or excuse me, not even the conference championship game, the divisional game. They never made it to a conference championship game. And they had some good backs, Lorenzo White was no pushover. He was a good running back for them. So I'd have to say the run and shoot years, 92, 93, and then this year's Tennessee Titan offense teams is probably the most explosive offenses that I've been a part of since being a fan since 1976.
Yeah, it's been a prolific.
How about you guys? What do you guys think? What to you is your favorite offense?
I like the '99 team when we went to the Super Bowl, man. I know it was prettiest offense, but that was the year that Steve turned into a beast and took the team on his back. You remember Neil O'Donnell in the first game? They were booing McNair. And I was at that game, and I'm looking at these fans like, are you kidding me? Some of the stuff I'm hearing, I mean, I don't want to get into it, but to see that dude rise up after the fan base wanted to see him get benched, and that first game, it was called Adelphia Coliseum. Just to witness him and Eddie, and Kevin Dyson wasn't super flashy, but that team was beautiful. That's when Derek Mason turned into just having the privilege of seeing Eddie George against the Niners that year. And we had such a good team. I think we were 5-1 to start the year, finished 13-3. That's just always going to be my favorite team. If this team happens to get to the Super Bowl, though, that's going to be my favorite. What do you got? What's your favorite team, Clay, offensively?
Gosh, man, it all really just started. I mean, yes, back in those days, whenever they were in the Super Bowl, that that offense was was awesome. But I really start thinking about back 2006, whenever Marcus Mariota, DeMarco Murray, Delaney Walker. Um, but now I think about today's and last year's team. Now that we have like two stud wide receivers in AJ Brown and Corey Davis that open up the realm for Derrick Henry that really tremendously, opens up our running game. And I think about, what if we had this team and, Chris Johnson as a running back, or, what if we had Derrick Henry back when Steve McNair was a quarterback? I just it's just hard to decide, but I would definitely have to say that this year's offense has been um, one of the most explosive offenses that I've seen throughout the whole years, and the stats show it too. We lead the league in scoring. We lead the league in like rushing yards and rushing attempts, all these different categories. But I really have to say that this year's offense is probably like my favorite, and like defensive wise, I'll probably have to say last year or back whenever it was we're making those Super Bowl runs.
Yeah, who was your favorite defensive team? Was it an Oiler team, or did you like the Javon Curse defense of the Super Bowl era?
No, yeah, the Super Bowl era team. Although the 78 and 79 Oilers defense was pretty special. They were solid. But that Javon Curse, man, his rookie year, what do you have, like did he have 14 and a half sacks his rookie year?
I think it was 14
Yeah,
and a half, maybe 15
that,
and a half, but 14 sounds right.
yeah, that was a special defense. There's Samari Roll, and I'm trying to think of some of the guys that Blaine Bishop, the Hitman.
Hmm.
Um, they had some motors on the edge. I wish we had some of those guys back. What would Javon Curse or Kyle Vanden Bosch or
Yes,
any
Albert
of those
Ainsworth.
edge rushers that we used to have, how healthy would they make this team right now, man?
We could use an Albert Hainsworth next to Jeff,
Yeah,
couldn't we? We could throw Javon out there as an edge rusher with Landry. That would put us over the top right there.
yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, this team has been special this year, though. We really want to carry this season over. We want to get this AFC South championship.
Yeah,
I feel like we all kind of feel a little nervous about this game, though. I don't know. What do you think?
Clay.
Yeah, yeah. Like I always, I just AFC South and the Texans and Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt has been a thorn in our side since he's ever been drafted, and
Hmm.
I just there's nothing more that I want us to win the division. But I even if we do lose, there's still a chance that we still make the playoffs. I just want a Super Bowl. I just want a Super Bowl. That's if we can somehow beat Kansas City in Kansas City, then I just would be at a loss for words and very emotional. I feel like, but I yes, I am nervous, but at the same time, I feel like we are going to take care of business. The last game we played against the Texans, they had that block field goal. They had some plays that worked out in their favor. We started really fast, but then they caught up. Uh, I really think that if we had the chance, we need to receive first to get the ball rolling, and our defense just really needs to stick up, or just step it up and really focus and try to eliminate those mental errors. You think about Rashawn Evans with the you know, careless penalty that he had. Just eliminate those careless penalties, and I feel like we're gonna be okay.
Yeah, you know what? I think you said something there that was real important, though. That if we win the coin toss, that we receive the football and not defer. Because I just saw a stat somewhere. I don't know where I saw it. That when we receive the ball first, we're like 8-2, and then when we don't, we're like 2-4 or something like that. But it was just once if we decide to receive the ball first, then we're tough to beat. And I think that really sets a tone for the game for us, because we put our defense. Okay, our defense is struggling. We put them on the field first, and and their offense goes down the field like they have been in scoring. Then, that starts with a little bit of a defeated mode for us. I think we put our offense on the field and score, and let's set the tone, man. Let's set the tone early, and then and roll on from there. So I like what you said there, Clay. I think it's important that we have the ball in our hand first.
Not to mention, our third down defense has been dreadful this whole entire season.
Mm-hmm.
And it usually seems whenever we kick the ball off first that the offense just like drains the clock, and it's like half of the first quarter's already gone before you get the ball back. And the defense is just gas at that point. So yeah, we just need to make a big statement, and we got to just eliminate those mental errors, like Mike Vrabel said, not doing dumb stuff to hurt the football team. And so I'm really excited. I'm gonna have to miss half of the game. I'll be at work.
Oh
for
no,
the first
man!
half. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of glad that they pushed the game back to 4:25 Eastern time. So I'll be able to catch the second half of the game. But yeah, like I said, we just really got to take care of business, and hopefully Derrick Henry can surpass that 2,000 yard mark. Corey Davis and AJ Brown are I think only like 60 or 50 yards away from the eclipsing 1,000, and Ryan Tannehill is like 300 yards away from surpassing 4,000 passing yards. So
be honest, I don't care about any of those stats at all.
No. I just want to win. I
I do too, and I'm going to put myself on the limb right now. We're going to win on Sunday, okay? And not only are we going to win, but when we get in the playoffs, we're going to have some really weird miracle stuff happen. We're going to get some turnovers on defense. We're going to force some fumbles. This team's going to make a damn run. I believe in this team. This is a special year for many reasons. It's been crazy. It's been hellacious. But this team's got something to say. Anybody else want to put themselves out on the limb and say we're going to win?
Yeah, we're going to win.
Yeah, why not? I mean, why not us, right? I think we have a good chance to win and win, get this division sewn up, and then make a run into playoffs. Everybody's 0-0 in the playoffs. We start from scratch. I don't care what you did. I don't care how many yards Mahomes thrown for, or Josh Allen, the Bills. I don't care about the previous record. We're all 0-0 when it starts. So, hey, something magical could happen. We could get Fulton back. I know Jackson's been out for a long time. He's a little rusty. Give him some more reps and get him a few more games, and who knows what can happen. That's why it's called the playoffs, man. Anything can happen. So I think we're going to win this game. I think it's not going to be easy. Division games never are, but I'm hoping I hope we'll set the tone early and kick some tail against Houston and drive it into the playoffs.
It's much needed to get that home playoff game, boys. My dad, Bud, has got to take the home playoff game. He's sitting up there by Mike Keith in the booth on the field level. So I got to make sure my dad gets to see a home playoff game this year.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
That's awesome, man.
Well, anything you want to shout out for us, Dave? I mean, anything you want to plug? You want to, any fans, podcasts, anything you want to say hi to?
You know what? I just think, I'm so thankful for being a Titans fan. Like I said, it's never easy being a displaced fan because you don't get to go to many of the games. So, I love, I follow, a lot of the guys that bring the Titans to us. I'm a big fan of Jim Wyatt. I love what he does for the organization and the team. All my Twitter family out there. There's not a better fan base, I don't believe, than the Tennessee Titans. Not just football, but when I lost my biological mother this year, I asked for prayers, because I know she was close to the end, and man, it was so heartfelt that reached out and prayed with me, and just sent me messages, DMs, hey, how's what's going on? How you doing? Just feel so bad for what happened to you. And then my real mother had COVID. She's 85 years old, and same kind of thing. People just checking in. Hey, man, how's your mom doing? Is she doing all right? So it's just a family, man. I love my Titans Twitter family. And I know I'll share this quick little story. And I think I talked to you a little bit about it, Chris, earlier. Had a chance to go to a Titans game on my birthday in 2018. Of course, the results weren't so great. We played the Ravens, got beat 21-0. But my girlfriend and I, we drove over from Florida for the game on a Saturday. Took in the sights, had some barbecue. Took in Nashville a little bit. Went to the game. But that night, the Saturday night before the game, I had one of followers on Twitter reach out to me. He said, "Hey, I know you're a big Oilers fan, big Titans fan." He said, "I'm a season ticket holder, and I'd like to invite you and your girlfriend to the game. I've got 2 seats. You don't have to pay me. Just come keep me company, and let's talk some history about the team." And I just thought, man, that's awesome, man. Of course, the game didn't end the way we wanted. They got beat, and I think I can't think. Marcus, I think it was sacked like 11 times. It was raining out, and then we drove 10 hours straight back home. We started that trip at about what the game started. It ended at like 7:30, and we drove all the way home straight through 10 hours. But the Titans just, I just want to shout out to all Titans Nation, man. Love you. Love you guys for having me on. I certainly appreciate you guys and letting me share, some of my experiences as not only a Titans fan, but an Oilers fan. So hopefully I have a little bit of the history out there to some of the viewers and people that watch, and you guys as well, of the Houston Oilers.
Yeah, the name Sons of Bud, this is what the podcast is about. And it's not just the Sons of Bud, but it's also about Bud's daughters, who obviously one of his daughters owns the team. So we're not trying to exclude the daughters, but we want to learn the history of our fan base and our biggest fans. And that's what this podcast is all about. I think it's a little unique. I don't know too many podcasts that want to dive into the psyche of what makes the fans passionate, but we're so fortunate to learn about you, especially this week. I think it was prominent in my Titans Oiler history. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for opening up to us.
Absolutely.
Reaching out to us. Clay, you got anything?
No, I don't have very much anything else, but yeah, it's just great getting to know the fans of the fan base, and like you said, it seems like we're a whole big family, and it's good just to dig down deep into the roots of the organization, and seeing these passionate fans that have been following the team for years, and sticking with the team through the thick and the thin, and like you said, with the Bud Adams era, and it's just awesome, and we really, really, really appreciate you coming on here, and I know we've been you're very flexible with the time starting and everything, so we thank you for that, being patient, and that's all that I got.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Thanks so much for having me. Happy New Year's to you guys, and hey, man, let's get this W on Sunday and tighten up, man.
Baby,
tighten up.
Come and tighten up, baby. Thank you so much, Dave. It's been a blessing, man.
Appreciate it.
Amen.
Yep.
Take care, guys.